Now, I did not blind buy this one. This is Bogart per Homme from the House of Jacques Bogart. That means I had expectation of what it should be or how good it's gonna be. Bought it maybe 3 or 4 years ago because I read somewhere that it is similar to Mugler's Pure Havana, one of my favorites. And it's kind of hard to get, so I was really excited, hoping to get a similar vibe from this. Welcome to my place. My name is Dave. Now, if you just want to hear how this one smelled and you don't care about anything else, just skip ahead a little bit. But for the rest of you just here to hang out, just relax, okay? Now, when it's not a blind buy, when we go into it with expectations, that means it could be very tricky. If I expect too much, it's gonna hard to meet it, right? And I already have a preconceived notion of what it should smell like. So, yeah, when I first got it, it sucked. I really hated it. It smelled very different than Pure Havana. But I gotta say though, similarity maybe about 30 or 40%, because right away they're going in a very different direction. This one, Pure Havana, I do think has the Amen DNA of the what is it called? The paved road, the black is it tart? Yeah, tart paved road. It does have that strong, a little bit pungent DNA. Sometimes hard to take, but then it has the tobacco notes in there. These two are two different directions. Comparing relatively, this Bogart is a lot softer, smoother, not as hard or pungent. But to me, when I smelled it up close, especially the first couple minutes, it's cloyingly sweet, like really sweet from the tonga bean. And this is mainly a tonga bean sweet, while the Pure Havana is going to be the nice honey with the tobacco. Okay? In general, summarizing, that's how it smells. So this is not really like that. There's also freshness that's from the lavender together with the tonka bean and some citrus right in the beginning. But I gotta tell you, this is not a fresh lavender per se. Lavender, you could, if it's paired with other fresh scent or notes, that it could come out very lively as if you're walking outside on the lavender field. But this one, because of the heavier tonga beans, maybe some patchouli in there, makes it as if I'm smelling in the warm weather something fresh, but then that fresh is being dimmed down, being buried by those heavier hotter type of warmer type of notes. So that freshness came out not really nice. And maybe that's part that's making it cloying to me. And I hated it a lot when I first got it. Even now, I still have trouble. Now, I do not recommend this in the hot weather at all. Don't even try. But in the cold weather, it is still hard. But what I found was, if I don't smell up close on my skin, and then it become pleasant. It become nice. And if I smell up close, in the dry down is okay. So basically in the beginning and also the mid, I have trouble smelling up close. It is too sweet with the tonka bean type of sweet and the fresh lavender. It just come out very weird. And there's also orange blossom, just a mixture of those. It just doesn't jive well. And I hate it. I mean, it's only less than 20 bucks, so I don't feel that bad. But I have expectation because of comparison. Also, I enjoy this House of Bogart. And yeah, so it was because of the expectation makes it really hard. I have other people smelled it. I owned this for a few years already. So before the pandemic, I wore it. And the friend says, okay, it's okay. They're more of a newbie, so I don't have any friends that really enjoy fragrances, at least not to my level. But with that said, it is good to get perspective of the newbies, right? Some scents I think is normal, but it's hard for them, especially a lot of the Mancera back there is harder for the newbies to enjoy because they're more of a powerful type of scent. Now this one, it was hard for me to get over that cloying sweet. But at the dry down, when I smell up close in the skin, I get more, there's like a tobacco, more of a cherry tobacco. It's not prominent, I gotta tell you, but because it's not a blind buy, I knew what I was getting, and I look into it just to make sure, because I want to make sure I'm getting something similar to pure Havana. So I read that there's some cherry tobacco notes, and I had to really convince myself and dig into it, and then I'll be able to pick that up. It's not a trick. It's not tricking myself, but I was able to pick that out. Okay, I get it. It dry down. In the beginning, no. It was just way too sweet, not to my liking. So what I end up doing is, when the weather is getting colder, I'll spray this on the shirt and the skin, but I do not want to smell it up close. Don't put my hands to my nose. And then I was okay. It's kind of enjoyable. But to now, it still hasn't climbed past the 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 at best. It's not one of my favorites, especially I have some of my favorite from the house, Jacques Bogart. That's more of more of a oak moss type of green, not as sweet as this one, which I prefer. This one is just overly sweet. Okay, I should stop saying how sweet it is. Hey, if you like that, it's not really a sugary, not a sugar cube sweet. It's not a honey sweet, but it's a tonka bean type of sweet that's not very well done to my liking. There are other tonka bean that's really well done. Yeah, this one just rubs me the wrong way since the very beginning. Maybe it's also the little bit fresh of the orange blossom in there. But at the dry down, I smell a little bit of sandalwood or cedarwood, a combination of that. And the dry down, I actually enjoy a lot more than the opening. So I would say from the beginning to the middle, it's like 4 out of 10. And the dry down is about 7.5 out of 10. So average about maybe 5 or 6 points. Okay. Everybody's gonna feel differently. But as far as the bottle itself, this is a atomizer built into the, it's not really a cap, there's no cap for this, so it's just built in, just press it. And it's okay, it's a plastic type of cap. So here we go. The sprayer is still good. It's still no complaint. It's just plasticky, so it wiggles a little bit. So it doesn't look as cool. But the bottle itself, you could tell it's not a modern type of scent. The smell itself is also not a modern type of scent. All right. Sorry if I'm kind of mumbling here a little bit. It just, I have to get the point across that the opening is not really to my liking because of the cloying sweetness. But then it dry down, it's nice. I'm getting more of that cherry tobacco at the dry down. In the beginning, if you tell me there's tobacco, I don't believe you. But it dry down, it comes out, and I enjoy that part. So longevity is good. I get about 5 or 6 hours on the clothing. It's about a few more hours longer. The next day, I don't. Let me take that back. Sometimes I do smell it the next day. So okay, on the clothes, next day, no problem. But on my skin, about at least 6, 7, 8 hours. Yeah, it is a good performer, even though it's been around for a while. Okay, a lot of time I thought about not talking about when it came out because we already have a conceived notion of how it smells like, and we may be biased. So I'll just say, yeah, it's not a modern type of smell, but it doesn't smell old. Okay, it just smells just a bit classic. And from the house of Jacques Bogart, and with this type of bottle shape, we kind of expect that. Okay, so anything else is a manly type of scent, but it's not really too masculine. Nothing feminine about this, but it's nothing that I feel is it doesn't give me the oomph of a manly type of smell, but it is leaning masculine for sure. As far as versatility, make sure it's a cool weather and you could wear anywhere. As long as they don't smell you up close after you spray it right away, they should be okay and will not faint from being cloying. Other than that, it's pretty easy going. Okay. Even though I say cherry tobacco, it's not really heavy, so it's on the lighter side. So basically what they're getting, the smell is good. Musky type of tonka bean with just a tad bit of fresh from the lavender and citrus, bergamot citrus, just a tad bit, and some woodiness right there. So that is the best I could summarize it. And the feel is, I could see a gentleman in suit, maybe an English gentleman, or from the 80s or 70s, wearing this and feeling nice in the wintertime. Yes, absolutely, that's a good image to have for this. So if you're a little bit mature, this is not for the 16, 15, 16, or a teenager running around. It just doesn't go that way. I was trying to think about some of the maybe cardamom fragrances, the modern type, maybe Tonka Bean, Armani, Imperial, Armani, the Armani Stronger With You line. Yeah, I just smelled it. Those are very, very different than this type of sweet. So yeah, it's nothing modern about this. So when you go into it just with the expectation, see, I'm not bragging about this one because for myself, I'm not really, it's not really my type just because that opening in the mid. But I have to, introduce this one because I review a bunch of Bogart and I really enjoy them, and this is one of the ones. But if you do enjoy it, let me know. I'll be interested to know what do you like about it. Do you get some, did you get what I'm getting? This overly sweet part, and how did you come about, or how did you live with it? So how are you okay with it? This is a cheapie that I think if you enjoy the classic and you like the Tonka Bean, maybe you could try this. Now coming back, I also have Pure Heaven on the other arm just to do a last minute side by side. Yeah, similarity, I would just say maybe it's 30%. So don't get this one just because you think it's no, it's not. This Pure Heaven has a totally different characteristic than this one. They're not even in the same neighborhood. Okay, the only thing they have in common is they're both for the cool weather. That's what I gotta say, because this is one of my favorite. It is heavy dose, sometimes it is strong, but yeah, it never come across cloying. Meaning too sweet. That's to the point that it's bothering me. So it never come across that way. But this one has always been something that rubs me the wrong way. However, this one is lighter comparing to this. Okay, so it's kind of weird how that works out. Anyway, I hope that's kind of helpful if you're looking to get into this one. You see it for a good price, and if you like Jacques Bogart, you wonder if you should pick it up. Hey, everybody have their own preference and take, right? And just because I smell that way doesn't necessarily means your nose gonna pick up that way. I never met any two person that enjoy everything the same. Never, ever. No matter who it is, okay? So just because some of the fragrance that I recommend or I enjoy and you enjoy it doesn't mean every one of them you're gonna smell the same as I do, right? Nobody does that. So with that in mind, if what I said it's okay for you, then look into it. It is a cheapie. It is from a nice house, Bogart Homme. So there we go. As always, see you in a couple days.